Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. Kyle, how are you tonight? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. I got host Kyle. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jeez, Kyle. Unbelievable. Yeah, let's just restart that. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. Kyle, good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited for the next X-Men movie. As you guys can see, Dark Phoenix. Can't wait to see it. Spy. There you go. Boom.
Right there. There we go.
Just in case you guys couldn't see it before.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it is a Thursday night, and we're excited to be back with you.
Yes.
And tonight, it's kind of interesting because tonight's episode this is like one of those episodes that kind of like writes itself.
Listen! Why isn't the Red Sox game on the television right now, first of all? Second of all, 7-2! It is opening day! And we are losing 7-2! That's all I have to say. Goodbye.
All right, thank you, Sarah, for that.
She's right.
It is opening day of the Red Sox season, and they are down 7-2. But we're actually not going to discuss that right now.
We won't get into the specifics about the score, because that might anger a few fans.
Especially Sarah, apparently.
Yeah.
But what we do want to talk about is some news that came out over the weekend here in Boston sports and New England sports, and that is that a member of the Patriots is retiring. A pretty popular member of the Patriots is retiring. And that would be none other than Tom Brady. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Did not mean to terrify Patriots Nation right there.
Everyone's like, wait, what? Tom Brady?
No.
When did they release this article?
Yeah. What?
What?
No, it is actually Rob Gronkowski. Gronk himself has called it quits after 9 years in the NFL. Certainly is going out on top. Having won the World Series. I'm thinking baseball. It's opening day. Sorry, folks.
The Red Sox are literally ingrained in our heads, I think, right now.
After winning the Super Bowl, back in February. And, Kyle, so I just want to, let's get right into it here. When you first heard the news of Gronk's retirement, what were sort of your initial reactions?
I was surprised actually. So this guy was the one that told me was actually the first time I heard about that. Because you just texted me just this past week about it, and I had not read or seen anything related to that. And I'm like, wait, what? I remember looking at my phone. I'm like, wait, what? What are you talking about, Robbie? And that's when I looked online, and then I saw all these articles about, Gronkowski's retiring. I'm like, wow, I heard people talking about that before. There was a lot of speculation on that, but it really took me by surprise. It did take me a bit by surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it did. I think it took me by surprise as well. Here I am, sitting at dinner on a Sunday, and all of a sudden I get an alert on my phone that said Rob Gronkowski retires. I'm like, wait, what? What?
Kind of
come again? Because obviously there were rumors that he may retire after this year, and people still weren't sure what he was going to do. But it had been a month or two since the Super Bowl, and I think just people were starting to think that maybe he actually would come back. He hadn't said anything, it just had been quite a while. If he was going to retire, people thought he would have done it already. But then, of course, he makes this announcement on Instagram that he is stepping away from the game of football. So obviously, a big hole left in the Patriots. And, you know, when you talk about legacy, I mean, obviously the guy did win 2 Super Bowls. Well, actually, no, he only won. He only played in 1 Super Bowl victory because actually the one that they beat the Falcons, he actually was injured and missed that game. So, while he technically won 2 rings, he only played in 1 of those games. So, but Kyle, I kind of want to ask you, what are your thoughts on sort of the legacy left behind by Rob Gronkowski, and sort of where in your mind he sort of rates, excuse me, when it comes to sort of all time in terms of players in the NFL.
I mean, he was definitely up there. He was definitely one of the best tight ends that they've had. Yeah, it was just he just had not only as a player, but he just had a lot of personality. I thought he just really kind of brought that extra kind of oomph to the Patriots, just the team as a whole. He was just so like energetic. It's just funny because I remember actually I taught a kid that literally looked like him. He was like a mini version of him in my preschool class. Like it was like 2 or 3 years ago, or 2 years ago. Yeah, it was so funny. I'm like, I remember when he first came to the class, I'm like, are you related to Gronk? Like,
that's funny.
So, and he had the same amount of energy too. So, it's just, it's just, you're right. It's just, it's really sad. It's really sad to see Gronk leave, and, but, you know, I'm sure he did it for pretty good reason, right?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely. Yeah, I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that he had been injured so much over the last couple of years. He had missed a lot of time, and you know, I just don't think he necessarily wanted to put his body through any more sort of that wear and tear. And I think he also just kind of wanted to move on to other things. You know, there's been talk about him potentially getting into acting or you know, doing stuff with WWE. Like, there's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of rumors of what he's going to do next. So it'll be very interesting to see, Kyle, what his next venture is.
He can pretty much do anything he wants at this point. Yeah. So, I would not be surprised if he did, either wrestling or acting or just both. Maybe just, I don't know, he'll do a movie every once in a while, then he'll be on like weekly WWE or something like that. I could see him doing all of it. Yeah, that's fair. Football can take a lot out of you. I don't blame him. It's a lot, you know, even for a guy, because he is one of the youngest. Well, he was at least for a while one of the youngest players.
He's only 30 years old.
Gronk's 30?
Yeah, he was only 30 years old.
No, I thought he was younger than that.
He's 30.
He's 30?
I'm pretty sure. Let me look it up.
I don't know. I thought he was like in his mid-20s. I thought he was
no. He's old. He's...
Really?
I'm pretty sure he's 30. Well,
know.
maybe I'm wrong. I've been known to be wrong. He's 29.
29.
He was born May 14th, 1989, so he's almost 30.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
I guess that's like
right.
That makes sense, actually. Yeah, that's fair. I know it's like everyone's like, yeah, you know, it's a good 30's usually a good time, and then here's Tom Brady who's like over
42, you know, and still winning MVPs and Super Bowls. Yeah,
I mean,
goes to show you just never know sometimes.
Yeah, some people, you know, you gotta give them credit, you know, for people like Tom Brady who have been in the game for so long. Like you're right, a lot of people would stop at right around late 20s, early 30s, but hey, you got other people. It's just, hey, you know.
Now let me ask you, Kyle. Obviously, you know, sort of the whole. Obviously, people sort of are reacting to the news, you know, just to simply of Gronk retiring, but also people now start sort of looking at, you know, what are the Patriots going to look like without Gronk on the team, and obviously looking to defend their latest Super Bowl title. So I guess let me ask you, how do you think this will impact the Patriots, and can they still be a Super Bowl contending team without Gronk out there?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, if they still got Brady, they still got Edelman. They got a lot of great players on the team. I don't think it'll impact them maybe a little bit, but I don't think it'll overall impact them too much, to be honest. Nothing against Gronk or anything, but I think they're still going to be a strong team. I don't think that's going to affect them horribly or anything.
Yeah, I agree. I think, just when you got Brady and Belichick, I mean that's all you really need.
Yeah.
Right there to be at least in contention. So I definitely could see them, sort of being right there in terms of Super Bowl and division title berth come next season. But it'll be weird not seeing Gronk out there, dragging guys with him for touchdowns and first downs, and he'll be missed, and obviously we wish him nothing but the best in his future endeavors, and we hope whatever he decides to do, he is successful at. Maybe, who knows? Maybe if he gets bored of it, he'll come back.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah,
you never know. Pull like a Brett Favre. Pull a Brett Favre or Jason Wynn, something like that, and come back after a little while.
Yeah, maybe he's just gonna get bored of wrestling or acting or whatever he does. You're right. He could just be like, all right, see you guys.
Exactly. So we are going to move on to the end portion of our episode, and it starts with our sort of pre-show food review. This is a place, I know last week it was sort of a place that we'd already been to, so we didn't really have a lot to talk about that. Yeah, this is one that we have not talked about yet on these pre-show food review. I don't believe so.
I thought we talked about that like a few episodes ago. But
did we? I don't know. Well, we're going to talk about it again.
No, it's okay.
The 99 restaurant in Waltham.
99 reasons.
99 reasons you'll always come back for more. But yeah, it was very good as always, and good food. Got to watch some of the game, the game on the TV, and
pretty chill place. They got good prices on drinks and stuff like that. And they also I love their probably my favorite dish there is their chicken tenders and sirloin tip meal that they got there with the French fries. That's pretty cool. You don't get that in too many other places.
No,
so.
2 for the price of 1.
Yeah.
But they do a good job there, and their honey barbecue wings are really good as well.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good. Yeah.
So I'd highly recommend. Anything else you want to touch on tonight? Happy opening day, everybody. By the way, I thought you're still losing 7-2, but they're going to come back. I have a good feeling.
Yeah.
Any sports video games or anything like that?
Yeah, so
go ahead.
So
the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. So one game I actually got to play actually over the weekend with a few friends of mine. This is kind of like it's a good 2-player PS2 era game. It's called SSX Tricky. I'm sure a lot of you guys are like, oh yeah, I remember that. It's Tricky to Rock Around. It has the theme song, a remix of like when you open the game, it has a pretty awesome remix of the Run DMC song on the menu, which is pretty cool. To rock around, that's right. On time is tricky. How is that? Yeah.
Tricky.
It's really it's a really fun game. It's a game that does have a bit of a learning curve, so it's not just it's what you can do. So there are a number of different ways you can go about the game. So basically, you can treat it as a racing snowboarding game. So you can do 2-player races down like a series of different tracks, different mountains, and they put a lot of different obstacles in it. It's very it's not super realistic. If you don't mind that, it's not like, the last game, the game last week I talked about was Forza Motorsport, and that game, the graphics were it looked like it was like they were trying to be close to real life, whereas this game, the characters are all kind of cartoony, it's got more of a cartoony vibe, but it's still very enjoyable. It's such a great game, and you really get a sense of speed when you're going down those mountains, which is kind of cool. And like I said, you can do either racing, or you can actually just kind of see who gets the most points doing the most tricks. So doing tricks is a bit of a learning curve. I'm still not that great at doing the trick part of it. You can speed up, and every time there's a jump, you kind of have to you have to hold a button, and then you press a certain combination to you can do different tricks, like holding the board sideways, or doing a flip and stuff like that. And it took me a while to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's actually kind of fun. It's just it adds a little extra kind of I don't know, replayability of the game, if you will. So it really gives the tracks kind of a lot to do. You're not just racing. You can race, but you can also do you can see how many tricks you can pull off on all the jumps. So it's just really cool. It's a lot of fun. Grab a few friends, play that game. I highly recommend it. And I'm hoping to eventually play the follow-up game, SSX3, which apparently is kind of like SSX Tricky. They kept all the trick meter and the racing, but I guess you're racing down a single mountain, and it's almost like a free roam snowboarding game. So I'll once I start playing that game, I'll get back to you guys on that. So
cool. All right. Well, thank you, Kyle, as always, for enlightening us on the latest in sports and video games. And all right, Mookie just in a single. Good job, Mookie.
Good job, Mookie. You got this.
But anyway, so special thanks to my sister Sarah for an unexpected cameo earlier on in the episode. And as always, he's Kyle. I'm Robbie, signing off for On a Couch Talking Sports. We will see you next time here on the couch. Bye, everybody.